What's good, everybody? I hope you're all ready to watch a war crime. Or at least the preparation to do war crimes. Hold on, I gotta remember what, which of these is the right one. I hope it's this one? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so I hope you're all ready to watch me prepare to do horrible things to my opponents today. Turning my boy into soup? No. Well, maybe. I guess it depends on how you want to look at it. Oh my god. Yeah, so the talk of the town for Magic is VV Cauldron. And let me tell you, this deck was really cool when it was for VV Cauldron combo. This is the VV Cauldron deck. This is the deck. Like, the first iteration of this deck was much cooler when it had like an actual combo kill. Instead of just being like the most painfully annoying deck to play against. Save him from being soup. It's too late, he's already soup. There's no saving him. It is a little unfortunate that, like, this combo that was, like, neat when it first got realized is just like, oh, it's, like, the best thing to be doing, and it's, like, the most painful deck to play against. I don't even know if it's gonna be that fun to play without the... For me, like, the fun of the deck was, like, doing the like, finding the combo lines. But now, like, that doesn't exist anymore. Just want to make sure I have actually all 4 VVs. Okay. Like, it doesn't even... Like, the combo kill doesn't exist anymore. It's just... You make your creatures bigger, and then... Oh, it's Ben looking in from outside. I agree. No, as somebody who has the deck and is playing it tonight, I hope this deck goes. Like, I'm sick of this deck being around. I'm sick of VV being the best card in the format. I want a format with a combo deck that's, like, actually interesting to play. Instead of whatever the fuck we have going on here. Genuinely, like, this is... It's kind of unprecedented for Magic to have a deck with, like, this high of a day 2 conversion rate. And, like, even though it didn't win the last Players Tour, like... Like, it took decks hating it from the main... Like, it took archetypes that had, like, 8 to 14 cards in the main deck to hate it into non-existence. Which is its own problem. It has to go. Like, it's gotta go. Justice for my boy. They made him too strong, and now we have to kill him. This is somebody who has not played Final Fantasy IX. I like VV. They're such a cool character from everything that I know about Final Fantasy IX, and I wish nothing but the best for them. But, you know, if we want to have a healthy metagame, VV's gotta die. I would not be opposed to them banning VV and Agatha Soul Cauldron. Just because, like, that card has been looming on the outside of the format, just, like, waiting for something to break. And boy howdy did we find it. I'll have to count this and make sure that I have everything correct. I haven't been paying that much attention to the cards going into the sleeves. I prepared this a couple of days ago. Alright, let me make sure. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 creatures, that is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 spells, that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Agatha Soul Cauldron, that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. Prophetic Memory, that is correct. There are 22 lands here. We're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 lands! Oh, all right. Let me sleeve up the sideboard, and then we'll discuss the general game plan of the deck and why it's a problem. If any of you recognized any of these sideboard cards, this could show you why this might be an issue. I will say, from my perspective, I'm looking pretty good for tonight. The worst matchup that I have going into my store, like for my local players, generally is gonna be the control player. And there's only one of them. I don't know what the rest of the guys are gonna be on. They all have like a couple of different decks that they could reasonably play. But I'm worried mostly about control, because this deck does not have an amazing long game, unlike the prowess version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 cards in the sideboard. Alright. So here's the problem with this deck. We'll just go over the creatures and give you a quick rundown on why we've got some, maybe some problems. Okay. So the entire creature lineup for what I would say is more of an aggro deck than a combo deck. By the way, if the volume is out of balance, just let me know. I can turn down the music. I can't turn myself up, unfortunately, because I have adjusted my personal audio levels to where my peaks might be, and I don't want to destroy anybody's eardrums. So, the issue with this deck is it is just kind of like with the Cauldron itself. People have been calling it a soup, and it kind of is. It is kind of just a pile of good cards that feed into VV or Nitier's ability to generate massive, like, swings of mana and run away with games. Graveyard Hate really doesn't do anything to this deck because the main creatures in the deck just kill you by attacking. So, like, hating out the graveyard doesn't do enough. Attacking the opponent's hand doesn't really do anything, because if you're ripping one piece of the combo out of their hand, boy howdy, they're just going to play the VV and then hit you with a bunch of the non-creature spells that are in the deck. And the rest of these cards are just good cards on their own. Like, Steamcore Scholar is fine. It's a 2-2 with Flying and Vigilance. And when it enters, you draw 2 and then you discard 2. FOMO is good here. It not only is like a 2-3 for 2 that cycle, or rummages when it hits the board, which is just powerful in and of its own, but if you have Delirium, which this deck is very easy to have access to because you're playing everything. You're playing creatures, land, you know, you're on your like main 4 creature card types, which is creature, instant, sorcery, land, but then you're also on enchantments and artifacts. Dinner, can I have VV for dessert? Yes. Yes, you may. And then I'm on Planeswalkers out of the board. So, like, you have all the main, like, card types. So, getting Delirium is trivial in this deck, and if you do that, you get extra combat steps. So, if you have 2 of these cards, like, you might as well just say OTK your opponent. Terso Light Shatter kind of overperforms in this deck, even though because it's legendary, you really only want 2 to 3 of them. I'm on 2, just for space, because I wanted the extra Quantum Riddler. Like, this card just, when it enters, again, you discard 2 and draw 2, so you have plenty of filtering. And then when it attacks, if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, at random, this can hit one of them, and then you get to cast it this turn. So you get extra value out of cards that you've discarded. And then all of this discarding and drawing feeds into Marauding Mako, which is your 1-drop. Every time you discard a card, you put a +1/+1. You put that many +1/+1 counters on this thing. So this thing gets massive real quick. And then your Quantum Riddler, which says if you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, if you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many +1. So every time you activate one of these rummaging effects, if you have 1 or less cards in your hand, you draw an additional 1 with the Riddler on board. And then VV by itself is just a menace. Like, this card, Under a Cauldron, just feeds into all of this just getting out of hand. And that's just the creatures. I'm gonna move into the spells. I have 3 Into the Floodmaw, 1 Wild Ride, 2 Abrade, and 4 Winter Night stories. So, Winter Night is obviously the heart and soul of what you're doing here. You draw 3, and then discard 2 unless you discard a creature card, which is very easy, because that's exactly what you want to be doing with this deck. So often this is a plus. This is not only card filtering, if you don't have a creature, the discard 1 is optional, so you can opt to just pitch 2 VVs if you really want to, but then it's just massive card advantage in the mid to late game. And then you can do it again because it has Harmonize. So, like, all that mana you're generating off of VV, boom, you just get to draw 3 and then pitch 2. So, like, this deck has no problem with running out of gas. Like, if this deck had issues running out of steam late game, like, there might be a concession there. Or a concession there. Like, this might not be the best deck in the format, and it might not be super egregious, but, like, we have insane, effectively 8 copies of a draw 3, discard 2. So, you know. The rest of this is kind of just here as interaction. Wild Ride is very funny because it gives haste to whatever creature you want. Buffing its power is also big because that's what VV's ability cares about, is its power rather than its toughness. So giving your creature +3/+0 and haste is big, and again, this has Harmonize, so you can do that twice. Abrade is here for 2 reasons. 1, it's a fine removal spell, but 2, if you are in the mirror match, this card is a main deck way to kill Agatha's Soul Cauldron. This is a hell deck. Oh, we haven't even gotten to the bad stuff yet. And then Into the Floodmaw. Again, this answers Agatha's Soul Cauldron in 2 ways. 1, it can, like, bounce any of their big problematic creatures, like any of their big creatures. Like, if they go to activate Agatha's Soul Cauldron, they can exile a card, like a creature with this, but if you activate the Cauldron and you go, alright, cool, Floodmaw, bounce your creature in response to the ability, then, like, they don't get the +1/+1 counter, and they've got to exile another creature to get the chain going. Plus, if you gift with the gift ability, if you gift them a fish, you can just bounce their Soul Cauldron. All of the cards underneath it are exiled permanently, and they have to replay it and start exiling things all over again. Next up, everybody's favorite card. I actually do really love this card. I wish it wasn't such an awful thing for the format, because I love this card. Agatha's Soul Cauldron is my favorite card in the Yawgmoth deck. It kind of makes that deck tick in Modern. Just giving all of your creatures with a +1/+1 counter the ability to use the activated abilities of other cards under it makes the toolbox much more resilient in Modern, because, like, Yawgmoth's ability is an activated ability, Walking Ballista is an activated ability, any of your Mana Dorks, those are activated abilities. Like, you just kind of have everything here. I just wish it wasn't so egregious in Standard, because this would otherwise be a very cool and interesting card. But, because it's not, we live in hell. And this is kind of the most innocuous card in the deck. Prof's Eidetic Memory. Card has been kind of on the fringes of Standard before VV Cauldron came around. And now it's just, like, the best card. Like, one of the best cards in the format. 2 mana. When this enters, you draw a card. Pretty good. If you have a Quantum Riddler, you'll likely get to draw 2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've drawn more than 1 card this turn, so excluding your card that you draw for turn, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn. This deck, I don't know if you've noticed, this deck draws a shit ton of cards. So this just sits on the board and makes a creature giant every combat. And it's legendary, so while you wouldn't think that would be a big deal, it kind of is, because you're not making creatures massive every turn. But, like, it's because of that, they made it 2 mana, so it's super cheap to just play this and then like pump up a creature permanently at the beginning of your combat for every turn for the rest of the game. And they're super easy to replace. So if they have a removal for it or a counterspell for it, you know. I'm on 6 islands and 5 mountains. This, like I said, this is an aggro deck, so you want to be playing cards on curve. Just having untapped lands is good. Generally, they kind of play an even split. And I'm on more basics than most other lists because I cut out 1 land because I didn't really like it. 4 River Pyre Verge, this is just your best dual land at the moment until we get Steam Vents. Your 4 untapped fast lands, Inspire Bluff Canal. And then kind of the utility lands. 2 Thundering Falls. This is an island mountain, so it activates your River Pyre Verges. Make sure that they can tap for both colors. But importantly, when this enters tapped, so this is kind of something you don't want to play early if you don't have to. It's you surveil 1, so you get to fix the top of your deck, and if you want to put that card into your graveyard, you do, which can feed your Agatha Soul Cauldron. Also, you can put your Harmonized cards in the graveyard so that you can cast them whenever you feel like it. And then 1 Soulstone Sanctuary. A lot of these decks are playing 2. I'm only on 1 just because I didn't want to play the second one. I like being able to cast my cards on curve. And like if this is in your opening hand, you kind of get screwed there. But this is just another creature. When you activate the ability, it becomes a 3/3 creature with vigilance in all creature types permanently. So this is just another creature that you can spend all your VV mana on to activate this, put a counter on it, and then boom, you can have another VV. Yeah, like I said, hell deck. Or I guess Natalie said. This is a hell deck. We kind of just live in hell. Somehow not the worst standard format that I've seen, but it's up there. It's up there with one of the worst formats that I've seen. Oh, I can feel my blood sugar coming down. I'm gonna grab a drink, y'all. This is the kind of deck you'd send you to the Shadow Realm over. I don't know, I mean... Alright, hang on. Alright, I'm not sponsored, but I am going to drink this Grape Crush because I like it. Oh, excuse me. Ah. Okay. So that's the main deck. Now, I will let you know, I'm not super worried about maybe playing other VV decks because I know what most of the people in my local store are on, right? There's the one that's on Control. Last week for the regional championship, one of the guys that like one of the better players was on the Teamer battle crier caller. Was there a Tato card when they did Vocaloid, just as a general Magic question? No, and it pisses me off. It was Miku, Luca, and the two blonde kids. Which, who gives a shit about those two? Luca I like. But there was no Tato, and I'm very sad about it. If there is ever a Tato collab, you can be sure that I'm gonna get on that. Alright. So, my sideboard is kind of... I made a completely different sideboard than what a lot of these decks are playing, just because I know what my meta looks like. So, I did not feel that I needed to run all of the same hate. Birdbrain thumbnail, redrawn on the highest fidelity you've ever seen it. God. So, my sideboard is 2 and 0. Now, these were being played anyway. Oh, excuse me. Normally, these are here for, like, the Cauldron Mirror. I have these in here because the blue-white control decks are on that fuck-ass artifact that exiles all of your opponent, like all non-land permanents with the mana value, like all creatures and artifacts mana value 2 or less. And that's basically my entire deck. So I am here playing a null to get rid of those things. My deck is mostly teched to beat the control player because, like, that's the deck that I struggle the most against. Speaking of, 2 Spell Pierce. Counter target non-creature spell, unless this controller plays 2. This plays kind of double duty. This is good against the control player, obviously. But there was also a player last week who he kind of bruised his own shit. And I don't know if he's going to be playing the same deck this week, but if he does, he was on Esper Mill. And this kind of counters all of the big mill cards. I'm on 3 Torch the Tower in the board. Some people play these in the main deck. I was playing the Wild Ride over them just because, like, a lot of the matchups that I expect to fight are not going to be an issue for this deck. And the ones that are, I can board in Torch and just take care of them in games 2 and 3. By the way, Torch the Tower, one of the best removal spells they've printed in a long time. 1 red, it either deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or if you bargain it, so you sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or a token, it deals 3 damage to that permanent, and then you scry 1. And then it exiles whatever permanent it hit, effectively. So, like, if that permanent dies, it goes to exile instead of the yard. This can come in big against some of the decks that, like, need their graveyard. There's been a couple of people on Bloodghast decks, and then this hits that and gets rid of it permanently. A Braid number 3, just in case. Disdainful Stroke and Negate. These are also... This is the last of my counterspell package. I'm effectively in games 2 and 3 against the control deck, moving from VV, like, moving from Is It Cauldron to Is It VV Control. Because I'm playing the 2 Disdainful Stroke because the big... Oh, it's like the white mythic from Bloomborough. I don't remember what it is, but it draws them a card, it gains them life, it makes them creatures, it, like, does their laundry, it files their taxes. Like, that card does everything for them. And this counters it, so that's why I'm on it. And then Negate, because I wanted something a little bit more clear-cut than just Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce is in here because it's cheap, Negate is in here because it is an extremely targeted answer that answers the problem every time. 2 copies of Broadside Barrage. This kind of plays double duty. Like, if I'm in a very creature-heavy matchup, or, like, my opponent's on big Planeswalkers, 3 mana at instant speed, deal 5 to whatever my target is, and then I draw and discard. Like, that can put a VV in the yard. That can put whatever I want in the yard. And then for the games that I plan to go long, 2 Crackling Wit, because this is one of the best Planeswalkers they've printed in a long time. Especially in, like, these colors. Oh, shit. I think I started putting the sideboard in upside down. So, yeah, I'm not happy about where Standard is right now. I think I would be disingenuous to say that because I'm playing VV Cauldron that I enjoy the format. I actually don't. Granted, I'm the only one at my store playing VV Cauldron, but, like, I don't like when a deck that is like this, that is super hard to answer, I don't really have to think that hard about the plays that I'm making, just gets to win. And not only that, but it takes egregiously long turns. Like, there's so much to remember. The game it's so heavily board-based, and everything is a once per turn. Like, a hard once per turn. So it's like, it's just maddening. And I'm not a fan. I'm not really a fan of that. I like some of the decks that I've played this year have been, you know, I played... Sure, my anxiety is making me get very good at playing my turns in TCG so fucking fast. Yeah, it, like, at the rate that we're going, you kind of have to. Yeah, like, that's the problem. Is that, like, if you're playing in a tournament, and you're playing, like games, like, trading card games have gotten so much more complex. It's kind of why One Piece is so refreshing to me. Because, like, complexity is in decisions that you make instead of in the effects of the cards and, like, the board state. Like, the way that the Bandai games are designed, all of the complexity is in the choices that you make on your turn. Like, oh, do I attack, you know, their units? Do I attack them directly? Do I go at, like, do I try to win the game faster, or do I try to stabilize the board? You know? That's what's interesting to me. Meanwhile, like, this is just, like, it's complex because there's 800 things on the board at any given time. And you have to just keep a fucking, like, you just have to keep track of everything. Otherwise, you're gonna get, like, a judge called on you and have a fucking, like, rules infraction because, you know, all of your cards have 800 words and 6 abilities. And I find that very, very frustrating. So, like, I don't know. Like, I was saying, the decks that I've played so far this year, I've quite enjoyed. I was playing Temur Otters at the beginning of the year, which was a very fringe deck, but man, it's fun. That's like a real, true combo deck. Like, it's either you go off or you don't. And then from there, up until, I was playing that deck basically up until Final Fantasy released. And when Final Fantasy released, I was like, okay, is it Prowess is the best deck in the format? I am going to buy the Prowess deck for Modern because that deck is actually interesting to me. I really like the Prowess playstyle. But I started building Is it Cauldron after PVDDR went like 9-1 with it at the Pro Tour in Standard. And I was like, okay, this is a deck that's more my speed. You know, it plays... You know, it's playing basically all the same cards as this was, but, like, there's a real combo kill in the deck. And I was like, that's what I want. And now we're just doing, like, combo for value. And I'm like, can we fucking not, please? Like, if I'm gonna combo somebody to death, I better be able to win. That's my philosophy behind combo decks. Is that, like, if my combo is not straight up killing my opponent, I'm not about it. Like, I better be able to, whether deterministically or not, kill my opponent with whatever combo I'm doing. And this is not that. This is not that. And it frustrates me to a great extent. I don't know. Obviously, we have a couple of months until the next scheduled BNR. If Vivi is not on that list, I might just be dropping Standard for a while. I don't know. Okay. I probably won't drop Standard, but I'm going to stop trying. I will pick up Vivi Cauldron or whatever, like, whatever lingers in its place. If the promos are good enough. Right? Like, I show up to these events, one, to play Magic, but two, like, I want the promo. Like, the promo tonight, top 8 is Slickshot Show Off, which is a card I need from the Modern Prowess deck. But also, it's like a special version of Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which is something that I want for Canadian Highlander. So, like, that's what I'm going tonight, and I'm gonna, like, I'm taking the best deck. Like, I am foregoing playing the new version of Prowess over Cauldron just because, like, I want to win. They're doing really good promos because they gotta bribe people hard to play right now. The thing is that they've been doing good promos for a long time. Like, hold on. RCQs have kind of middling promos, but that's not the reason you're going to the RCQ. You're going to the RCQ to like, qualify for regional championships. That's not why I go. Again, I go so I can play Magic, right? Getting an invite is not why I go. And I've offered, like, I have straight up, like, played out the finals twice at this point. Played out the finals, and then been like, yeah, you can have the invite, I just want the promos. Like, I don't care about the invite. Because I'm not traveling to these things. But the promos for Store Championships have been good for a couple of years now. They used to be great. Like, the way that Store Championships used to be run was more fun to me. They do it this way now because it costs them less. But let me show you. Let me show you what they used to be. Hold on. I have a couple of these. These are ancient. Ancient. I'm talking like, I think I got these both in 2017? God, it's been 8 years. But check this out. Let me get this shit out of the way. This used to be the prize for first place at Store Championships. And they used to call them Game Day. This was the first place prize. I have 2 of these. I have the one for Hour of Devastation with the Mastermind tag at the bottom. I kind of got in and started winning games of Magic kind of at the perfect time because, like, the last 2 like Game Day playmats that I got were some of the best ones. I have the Mastermind playmat, and I have my favorite. My favorite one that doesn't have artwork that I commissioned on it. Just because it's so fascinating to me. This is the map of Ixalan. This is the champion mat that we got for winning game day for Ixalan. And it's got the whole map on it. And the fun part about this map is there were a set of promos that had a transform mechanic that would transform from an enchantment into a land. And the promos had bits of the map in them. So, like, wherever they were at. So, like, Araska was one of them. And the Lost Vale was another one. Like, Escanta down here was another one. Like, that would be, like, their section of the artwork. And we were like, oh, these look cool. Where are they for? And it turned out that they were for the entire map of Ixalan. Like, and that we didn't find that out until they showed this off for game day. And it's so cool. Obviously, like, promos are easier for them to produce and easier for players, like, more incentive for players to show up because, like, if you win them, you can sell them on the secondary market and make a nice chunk of change. But, like, these meant something to me. And they still do. I don't have any of my game day promos anymore. But I have my 2 winning playmats. If that tells you kind of, like, where I'm at with Magic. Because, like, cards, you can always get a cheaper version of a card. You cannot replace a trophy that you won. You cannot replace a trophy. So anyway, enough of old lady yells at cloud. Oh. So anyway, I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna try to take first. Because I really want that Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And hopefully, you know, things go my way. Even though I am on the best deck, you know, people know that I have been playing VV and that I've done it in the past and that I have the opportunity to do so. Even though last week at the RCQ I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna play VV. Like, I'm really not feeling it. Well, thank you. And just to make it a point, I always have a cute girl cheering me on. She's in my deck box at all times. But after I saw the promos, I was like, well, I guess I gotta lock in. So, I don't know. I hope something gets done. By the way, for those card gamers that are looking for accessories, don't buy Ultimate Guard anymore. Darren has defeated you in a meepy. I feel that. That's why I haven't eaten my sandwich yet. I'm probably gonna eat it while I'm at the tournament, just so that I can, like, hopefully take it in waves a little bit. Don't buy Ultimate Guard anymore. They keep making deals with J.K. Rowling for Harry Potter shit. So just, this is like, I'm not buying Ultimate Guard products anymore because I can't support that bullshit. They make the best deck boxes in the market. Like, in the game, they have the best deck boxes. I refuse to buy any more of their deck boxes. I refuse to buy any more of their supplies. I will use these until they are ash and dust, and then I will replace them with probably GameGenics. If you're listening, GameGenic, I need you to make a 60 for your little, like, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like the boulder-like deck boxes. You need to make those in a 60+ size so that I can put my fucking one-piece decks in there. Other than that, Keep doing you. If you make them in an 80 and a 60, you have my business. Otherwise, like... You know what? Fuck it. I mentioned One Piece. Hang on. Oh, excuse me. God, I've been holding that one in. So, fuck Magic the Gathering, right? You see, fuck this. I'm here for... I am excited because Friday nights, one of the... Like, there's always a small group of people who play One Piece. And we haven't had a tournament for it yet. But I'm trying to convince the store owners to make it happen. Especially now that my brother is one of them. So maybe we can talk something in some sense into these guys. But I'm excited because One Piece is in kind of a fun, fresh new format. We just had a set release, OP12, with some very interesting leaders. The blue-purple Sanji, the green Zoro is taking off, and the mono-blue Kuzan is actually doing numbers. Not to mention, there were some bans, and specifically, some unbans. They unbanned Sakazuki, which horrifies me, but I'm excited to see what it can do in the modern age of One Piece, because it was one of the first leaders banned. Having an ability to just cycle a card every turn is pretty good in the deck that's like, or like in the two colors that are like the most controlling in black and blue, but that's beside the point. So these decks have not been updated at all. I have Boa and Robin here. There is a new black Robin in OP12 that I picked up a playset for, just in case I want to play Black Yellow Koala. Because I don't know how well that deck is going to be performing, but she's cute. And I thought I would pick her up. Also, I have a collection of Robin cards. Do not at me. This is what I'm really here for. So, Reiju got some juice. These upgrades were technically an OP11, but God, they're so good. There we go. Found them. I don't think there were any others from OP11. No. Okay. But I do have one addition to make. So, Black Purple Reiju is a deck that's always been kind of fringe, but it's a deck that's very fun for me because of how it wants you to, like, blue is really good at drawing cards, purple is really good at ramping Dawn. So when you go -1 on a card cost, you get to draw a card. And a lot of purple cards, like, to ramp you, they want to, like, go minus on Dawn. So this is just a very, very good engine to keep your hand full. The new cards are these ones. I'm not playing the other new Reiju, because it's actually not very good for this deck. This Reiju might be the best card might be the best support any deck has gotten. Like, on play, you find a German double, like a Vinsmoke family card. If your leader is, Germa. No, I'm sorry. If your leader is Vinsmoke family, you add a card with Germa in it to your hand, you look at the top 5, add a Germa card to your hand, and then you trash the rest. The entire deck is built on reanimating the bigger versions of these cards. So it's like, you get to take a small one, or like an event that you might need, which this deck is playing more events now, which I like. And you just get to put all of your reanimation targets in the bin. Like, it's so good for this deck. This Ichiji is also nice. It's a blocker, which the deck didn't have a ton of. And excuse me. This can only be activated when you have characters with a type including Germa. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1,000 power during this battle. Then trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. So this is a blocker that on your opponent's attack can buff up one of your units. Huge. And then like this Niji is just, it's a vanilla, but it's a big body and it's also a 2k counter. So like it's a pretty good upgrade for the deck. And because we're going kind of in on like more of like a, we're kind of able to open up the top end for the deck. So we're now able to actually play a couple copies of Judge. And this card is nuts. On play, Dawn -1, you may trash 2 cards from your hand. Play up to 4 Germa 66 type character cards with different names and 4,000 power or less from your trash. So you just get to reanimate all of the guys. Like, you're usually only gonna get 3. But you're gonna get 1 copy of Ichiji, 1 copy of Niji, and 1 copy of Reiju from your trash. And then which will let you reanimate the bigger versions. And then like activate main once per turn Dawn -1. So like you just go Dawn -1, you'll get to draw with Reiju. And then you rest one of your opponent's Dawn. Like, that's not always relevant, but it can be. So I'm excited to give this a shot tonight. I'm probably going to be at the store pretty late, because me and the other One Piece, like, the One Piece guys are going to, like, probably jam some games. Store Championship doesn't go as long as the RCQ, because there's no top cut. So, yeah. Excited for One Piece. Not crazy excited for Magic, but, you know, it is what it is. I ordered a couple of decks for One Piece that were, like, crazy budget, and I'm excited to get those. I bought... I bought the entire deck for Purple Katakuri. It was released in either OP11 or OP12. I don't remember which one. But that deck looks like fun. And then I'm also getting the new Blue-Purple Sanji, because that deck looks interesting to me. I won't go on a tangent about One Piece, and like the way that their format is laid out, because like it's really just gonna come down to complaining about card prices. But I don't really have anything else today. I'm kind of just here, you know? I think, honestly, I might call it now. I said this is going to be a shorter one, but I might just call it now. Get my laundry started, eat dinner, get some stuff cleaned up, and then head to locals. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah. If anybody has any questions, there will be a comment section on the VOD. Please feel free to ask. I love talking about this stuff, obviously. And if you want to know more, please just go right ahead. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I fully believe in that. Ask me about One Piece, Magic the Gathering, Edison format for Yu-Gi-Oh! Only Edison. If you talk to me about Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm blocking you from my channel. Don't ask me about Master Duel either. I won't block you for asking about Master Duel, but I don't know shit about it, and frankly, I don't care enough to ask or to know anything about it, so I will just ignore your comment. Ask me about... Actually, don't ask me about Pokemon. I watch Worlds. That format looks... It sure looks. I don't think I have anything else. Thank you guys for hanging out. Remember, new video tomorrow at noon CST. It's more Ace Attorney, so, like, watch it or not. I don't really care. I'm uploading these for me because I find them fun to do. But if you want to support me, you can feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how your day was, let me know what your favorite sandwich is. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, for more Chibi Robo. Bye, everybody.